Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is great to be back. Thank you all very much for your well wishes, sending me emails, contacting me on Twitter. While I was in the hospital. Had a little bout of pulmonary edema, or pleural effusion, if you will. Two different things, but what basically was I had fluid building up on my right lung. Right now it's no big of a deal. May be a problem several years into the future, but it's under control, so thank you guys very much. See, back on O2, but it's par for the course. I also want to apologize for my actions during the review of the Baroness. I got a little too excited about Byron's gripes, and I want to apologize to that, to all of you who were upset or offended by that. This channel is just as much yours as it is mine, and you guys deserve great content. So I've reined it in, and I promised you guys that I would correct that, and I have. So let's get into the review. Today, man, we're looking at another awesome figure. We're going way back to 1982, from the very beginning when G.I. Joe came into our lives. I still remember the very first commercial I saw. I was still living in Ohio at the time, and I thought, man, I gotta get those. And you know, Star Wars was still pretty popular. I mean, they died out around 1984 after Jedi, and I remember buying a bunch of them for 88 cents each. That was just cool. But G.I. Joe and Masters of the Universe filled the void for Star Wars. And these action figures, gosh, they just blew Star Wars out of the water. You know, them with their 5 points articulation, you know, the arms sticking straight out and the legs and the heads turning side to side. G.I. Joe gave us cool articulation. So I just knew I had to have those. And when we moved out here to Arizona, gosh, that's when I got my first G.I. Joe, and that was Short Fuse, my very first one. And then at Christmas, I got my second one, which was the Cobra Trooper, or the Cobra Soldier. So that started my G.I. Joe collecting. And we're going to be looking at one of a fan favorite, and also the most frustrating to collect and the most frustrating to have as a kid. We're looking at ZAP version 1. Now, you guys out there who are collectors, who are G.I. Joe fans, and even though you guys, some of you are just getting into G.I. Joe, ZAP was a problem. Hasbro had a problem with the plastic. Thumbs were the biggest thing to break off on these action figures, but with ZAP, he was a lighter green figure, and that plastic, for some reason, the chemistry in it just made it weak. So the ZAP I had as a kid, he was missing one hand and half of the other. And I accidentally left him at a friend's house after playing, and he thought I gave it to him. So when I found that he had it, I of course wanted it back, and that started a fight and 4 years of bullying from that kid after that. Lived in the neighborhood, and the little area that we lived in was a circle, big circle. It was inside of a trailer park. So any direction I walked to leave the trailer park, I had to walk by his house because there was one way in, one way out. And that was a challenge for me. I don't like to fight with people. This guy was bigger than me, he was older than me, and he just terrorized me for 4 years. And I remember when he finally got out of grade school and went into junior high, I was so relieved because I had 3 years of grade school without him. And that helped. I mean, this guy would let the air out of my bike tires at school, so I would have to push my bike home, and then he and his friends would ambush me. I mean, it was bad. And back then, bullying was not addressed like it is today. So I just want to do a quick PSA to the younger viewers out there, or even adults. You know, we still get bullied at work. Bullying is a sign of cowardice, for one, and for another, the children who are bullying are reacting to anger. They don't know how to deal with that emotion, because 9 times out of 10 they're getting abused at home in one way, shape, or another, or they're a bully, getting bullied themselves. So they take it out on a individual that they see as a weaker person. And we really need to stand up to that. So kids, report this to your principal, to your parents. It's got to stop. I mean, people are out there committing suicide over cyberbullying, and thank goodness that I didn't have that as a child. I probably wouldn't have been on social media as a child. My parents wouldn't have let me. But it's getting bad. So guys, we need to stand up to it. We really do. It's damaging, it's belittling, it has left scars, emotional scars with me. And I remember seeing that guy when I was about 17 or 18, and he was in a car, and he said, "You come over here." And it was the way he said it, it brought just a flood of those emotions. And here I was, a bigger teenager. I ran home. Okay, that's how bad it had scarred me. So I know he was being abused at home, and then there was another bully in the neighborhood. He was being abused at home. So, and we just got to stop it, guys. And at work, we have 800 numbers that we could call anonymously and report these problems if you don't necessarily want to go to your immediate supervisor or to human resources, because sometimes these things, the people will know. They did it to you, and then that complaint comes in and they know that you ratted them out. But we got to stand up to it, honestly. So sorry I got off on that. I needed to share that with you guys. Just doing the research on ZAP brought back a lot of those memories. So you guys are my friends, and I wanted to confide in you about that, and also help you guys who may be or have experienced bullies. So ZAP was made of this fragile green plastic. The hands broke off, the thumbs broke off. Short Fuse, the same thing, his thumbs broke off. And it seemed to be only the action figures that had the long green arms, the long green sleeves on their arms. Breaker, Rock and Roll, Clutch, their sleeves were rolled up, so you didn't have a problem breaking their thumbs off. It was just that plastic. Very annoying. In my example of ZAP, I apologize, his thumbs are broken off, but that's okay. Those could be fixed. There's great tutorials out there on YouTube to fix those. So when ZAP came out in '82, he was released as a part of the first series. He was on the pegs until 1983, when he was switched over to swivel arm battle grip. He had 2 file card variations. One was clipped off of the card back, and the other came on what was called a bubble card as a J.C. Penney and Sears 3-pack exclusive, and I'll pull up examples of those for you guys. So I didn't know about that, the J.C. Penney and Sears 3-pack release, and that was the one with the 6 cell on the back, 6 action figure cells. Very cool. See, I'm still learning doing these reviews, and it's great. You know, we're always learning. That's one thing that never stops with us. We have a section in our brain called the hippocampus. That's where the memories are being generated, and that is actually the only part of our brain that continues to grow after we reach adulthood. It's just a little dot, a little almost nodule kind of thing right in the center of our brain near the pons. Cool information. Sorry about that, we're not in health class. So yeah, that J.C. Penney and Sears that is so cool, man. So he came on a red card back, and that one is pretty rare as well. He had 3 different card backs, which were out on retail. The one had the 2-handle example of the bazooka, and that was the first release of the bazooka. And I'll pull up pictures of that after I'm done here. That was the primary cause of broken thumbs. So I'm sure Hasbro got flooded with complaints about that. So they quickly changed the bazooka to a 1-handle and made the handles thinner so it didn't break off the thumbs as easily, but it still happened. So let me pull up a picture of that. And there was also a card back that was promoting the mail-in for Cobra Commander. I hate touchscreen. Whoa, sorry about that. So there are 3 examples of the bazooka, and I happen to have only one, and for a good reason. The other 2 are pretty expensive, especially the first release that had the 2 handles. And you can see the pictures that I put up there, mouth's getting dry, that you can see that the 2-handled grip had thicker handles than they had a 1-handle, which was a little bit thinner but still too thick for the figure. And finally they have the last example where it's just right. Yeah, it's the Goldilocks thing. We're in the Goldilocks zone with that. It is just right. And the card backs that I showed you, one has a Cobra Commander promotion. One was 1982, which was the 9 cells. And in 1983 there was 11 cells. So this figure has a lot going for it as far as variations, and boy are there variations. And I'm not getting into the parts being shared because they passed it around like a peace pipe with these sharing the pieces. It was their way of saving money because they weren't sure if this line was going to kick off or not, and it came in at the perfect time when action figures were hot, thanks to Star Wars, Micronauts, things of that nature. Excuse me. Oh, picked up this cup at Denny's. God, I'd show it to you. It's pretty cool. Comes with a little bacon action figure. There's sausage and egg. I like bacon. This is Baconator, codename Cholesterol. He fits onto this lid onto foot pegs, and G.I. Joes could fit on there. You just have to kind of take a pair of pliers and grind the peg down just a little bit so it'll fit. So that's another reason why I got this, was for the show, so I could drink my orange Coke from it and be a little silly at the same time. You should have seen the waitress. She looked at me like I was nuts, and she thought it was funny when I asked for one. So we got through all the variants. There is a variant on his Tookus. It was changed from 1982 to 82-83. So that's a problem if you want something complete with this action figure. And I'll cover that when we're looking at the action figure, so you don't have to look at my ugly mug this whole time. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Got to the file cards. ZAP's first appearance in the Marvel comic run was issue number 1. And you can see it in the intro. Issue 1 was one of my favorites. I recall seeing it as a kid. I don't know if I read it. I think my brother had it, my oldest brother. He was a comic book collector, still is. So I don't know if he still has those or not. But issue number 1 has the coolest cover from the early series, in my opinion. And ZAP originally retailed for $2.99. Yeah, you want to find them for $2.99 today? No. We'll get into that in Byron's gripe. So let's go ahead and take a look at this sweet, sweet action figure. Gosh, I'm excited about this one. All right, here he is, man. Gosh, what a beautiful looking action figure. I talked to a friend of mine this morning, Rob, from My Side of the Laundry Room. Check his channel out, because Rob reviews some really cool stuff. Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, all vintage stuff, man. He has a great channel. He has a very unique way of addressing you guys, his viewers. Just really check him out. And I promised him that I would share a custom figure that I had made. Chuckles happens to be his favorite figure, and I told him that I customized a Chuckle to look like Magnum PI. I mean, the paint job is a little heavy-handed, but it gets the point across. And Chuckles is an undercover agent, so that kind of looks hokey in a way too, like he's wearing a fake mustache. So Rob, here you go, my friend. Magnum PI. And I was just dying to do that, and I got him at a steal at like 50 cents. And I also customized a Wild Bill to look like Burt Reynolds from Smokey and the Bandit. You know, why not? That's one of my favorite movies from the bygone era. Love it, love it, love it. So let's go ahead and take a look at Bazooka. He is flat out awesome. Let's look at his accessories first. Now, I have short fuse here for one reason. Well, two reasons actually. Because short fuse has a problem with his thumbs, as aforementioned, the longer sleeves, but you could also see the lighter and darker green. Another thing reason why I brought short fuses out is because he and ZAP share the same backpack. So, pretty cool. Another thing I noticed this morning, so I thought I would share that. So, the backpack is fairly decent. The first run on the backpack from 1982, it didn't fit very well. It was pretty loose. This one does, so I don't know if this was from 83 or not. but they Hasbro had to change the back peg a little bit to make it fit better. As you can see here, there are there are 3 sculpted in, no, 4 sculpted in rockets for his bazooka, and looks like a little bit of machine works on there. And this is his second release, or the third release. This is the thinner handled one. Now, I had little confusion when I got him as a kid that he held on to it like that, so immediately broke thumbs, but he's supposed to hold it like this, and it looks pretty good. But the bazooka itself, very, very nice. Has a sight on it. These are actually a real bazooka, or one from like World War II in that era. They were made of aluminum, and they screwed together right here so they could be broken down and carried, and the soldiers just had to screw it on real tight. But this also made them a target. When you had a bazooka soldier, he was #1 to be shot next to the flamethrower. So it was a job that they didn't want, because they had to get up on their knees to aim it, and you had to have a second guy to load it from the back. Then he smacks you on your head to let you know. Boom, you know, you blow up a tank or whatnot. So looking further at ZAP, you could see a very familiar face. Why is it familiar? Well, looks like Michael Ironside, in my opinion, and Grunt, and also oh, I forgot his name. But anyway, his head was used quite often. He came with this light green helmet, standard G.I. Joe helmet for its time, and his hair was black. In the cartoon, he had a little mustache. So there are some people out there who have customized their ZAP with that mustache, and it looks pretty cool. Of course, he's straight-armed. He has this H harness on, which is supposed to indicate, you know, it's holding on to his backpack. He has nice little pouches there on his sleeves and green paint, pouches on his legs as well. In my example, the paint is wearing off, but hey, you know, given the age, you know, it's going to wear off. He got a lot of play, I assume. So, very prized action figure. I love that guy. So here is his file card. You can see the card art on the front. He has a mustache on it. Oh, one thing I told you I was going to talk about. Right here on his tuchus, it reads 1982. If you have a straight arm that says 82, 83, that isn't the original waist piece. And also the belt, the little stripes on the belt, those will be thinner. So if you're a completist, look out for that. This was the Cobra Commander mail-in. You know, they would actually print it on. They didn't use stickers. It says free with a total of 5 flag points plus postage and handling. Some, you know, cut off. 5 flag points. So you had to buy 5 G.I. Joes. That was $15 worth of G.I. Joes to get a free Cobra Commander. So really, he wasn't free. It says check or money order, no cash, and it gives the address. And he's the Cobra Commander offer. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and read the file card. It says Bazooka Soldier, code name ZAP, file name Melendez Rafael J, serial number RA 633980744, primary military specialty engineer, secondary specialty artillery. Now, him being an engineer, he's kind of responsible for blowing stuff up, building bridges, stuff of that nature. So this man, he's very important. He was born in New York. Grade is E4, so that made him a specialist. Middle paragraph reads, ZAP is the team specialist in armor-piercing and anti-tank weapons, but also functions as a demolitions man. Specialized education, engineering school, ordnance school, advanced infantry training, qualified expert in M14, M16, M19, 11A1, M79 grenade launcher, which is what comes with, oh, it's been gung-ho. The M79 Law rocket, which he carries, the XM71A tow missile, XM47 Dragon missile. So this man can fire a lot of weapons. And the bottom paragraph is a quote. It says, ZAP is a fun-loving type. He is cool under fire. The stuff he works on could blow up at any time. So him and Tripwire, I'm sure, were pretty close buddies. Actually, I should say he and Tripwire were pretty close buddies. Tripwire worked with mines, landmines. He also had to know how to defuse landmines. So he and ZAP could go side by side and really work together on the Joe team. So he is a really, really cool action figure. I have fond memories of him and not so fond memories. But the fond memories I have of him definitely outweigh the bully that I had to deal with. So with ZAP being made of that, pardon me, that light green plastic, a lot of them were broken, I'm sure were thrown away, and so he's a little more rare on, well, not rare, but more expensive on the aftermarket. So it is time for my favorite segment, Byron's Gripes. Yep, thank you. And do I have a lot? My stars. I thought the Baroness and Destro were bad as far as pricing. They don't hold a candle to ZAP. You want one that's complete, without the broken thumbs. $49.99 or $44.99 to $99.99, $100. Deal of the day, and you'll find out why. That is pretty steep, but I would definitely snatch up the $44.99 if you're looking for them, because you're not going to find them any cheaper. Now, for those of you who are just joining me, I only use eBay. There are other sites out there that may have it cheaper, but eBay is the one I reference. I'm not doing it to pick on eBay itself or the sellers. This is just a segment to give you guys an idea of what to expect as far as pricing if you're a fledgling or newer collector. And this helped me as when I was starting out. Is it a good price? Is it a bad price? You know, what do I expect? So that's part of the reason why I came up with this segment. And also, you guys who've been with me, you know I say this with every episode. Follow along if you want. Just because it says G.I. Joe, it doesn't make it valuable. That is right. It really doesn't. There are some action figures that have a higher value, you know, ZAP, Scarlet, Snake Eyes. the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, some of the more exclusive mail-aways, they will hold their value, and they will always, unfortunately, keep on going up in price. And there are others that go down in price because the prices are too expensive. And I'm starting to notice more and more that people are reducing them because the prices are set too high. And I saw a little bit of that with ZAP. So I'm hoping that people are really starting to get the idea, not from me, that's just pompous, but everybody in general that are purchasing, that these people are noticing that their items aren't selling because they're asking for too much money. And it's not necessarily them setting that price, because I've sold on eBay, and when you put it gives you a suggested price. It says this is what this specific item has sold for, and they give you a ballpark, and a lot of people just work with that. So you're better off getting ZAP in an auction, and I mean bid on it and sit on that auction if you really want that action figure. So continuing, for his bazooka alone, the version 2 bazooka, which is the single handle, a little bit thicker, it's $3 to $24.99. $25 for that silly thing. It is more common than the 2-handled bazooka. No, come on. Don't be so greedy. You want a complete version 1 with the first issue bazooka with the 2-handled, $259.99 to $319.99. Boy, Gaval, really? Wow. No, 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 no. Come on, guys. Smell the coffee. Wake up, smell the Baconator. Really, that's just a bit much. You want one that is incomplete. Now, this is going in with the deal of the day. $30 to $39.99. Then you could later on buy the file card or buy that missing accessory. Now, if you want a completist, then you'll want all 3 of his bazookas, but it'll still be a little bit cheaper. His helmet, $3.50 to $4.95. No, $4.95 is a bit much on that. But remember, his accessories have to match his uniform. So if you find one out there with a dark helmet or a dark backpack, it is the wrong one. It came from Short Fuse or another action figure. So you want his accessories to match the same color as his uniform. There is one that is incomplete but has both of the first and second release of the bazookas. Deal of the day again. This is a first. 3 in a row. $48.99. Jump on it. Snatch that up right now. If you have the Fazools, do it, man. Just get on it and buy that, because that bazooka is 3-4 times the amount of what you're going to get with the action figure. So dang, that is beautiful. Thank you, whoever that is selling it at that price. Bless you, sir or madam. That is an excellent price. His backpack, $1.50 to $3.50. The file card, $9.89 to $20. No, $20. Please, 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 please. No, $9.89 is pretty good. Complete with the first bazooka and file card, $199.99. That's almost a deal of the day, almost. But that is still, that's up there with the consumerism, greed, no. I know he is a frail action figure, he's popular, but come on, people, please, please, please be nice to us. Give the kids a chance who don't have that kind of finances, or even the adults who have a lot of expenditures that they need to focus on with their household, and they're still trying to enjoy a hobby. It's making it hard for us. So come on, people. Be nice. Be a pal. Carded with an AFA grading of 80, which is pretty good. If you're looking at a grade scale from A through F, you got a B grading on that. I lost more hair on this one, my friends. Give me a minute. Man. $1,399.99. But that's not all. $4,999. Who has that kind of money? If you're an AFA collector and you have those kind of fazools, God bless you. Thank you. You know, I'm happy that you have those means. I truly am. That is great. But these people are cutting you a little slack. Free shipping, brothers and sisters. And it's an or better offer, so you can negotiate with these guys a little bit. Get that $5,000 marked out to maybe $3,000. You know, it's just a little bit greedy. Just a little bit. I want you to wake up. Stop being Ebenezer Scrooge. Because you'll be visited by 3 G.I. Joes. Expect the first at midnight. Carded with no AFA grading. This is going with the deal of the day. $349.99. He's carded. But be careful, there's reproduction cards, but I looked at the pictures and it looked pretty legit. Complete with both of his bazookas, the first and second release. $299.99. Got a pain behind my eye. That's just a bit much too. Come on, people. Please, please, please be nice to us. You want one that's complete? This is the 5th deal of the day with a full file card or full card back, $150. And that was a pretty fine looking action figure. Gosh, I'm literally getting a headache right now. So there we have it, man. That ZAP, he was a childhood favorite of mine. Unfortunately, I lost him to a bad circumstance, and it really is unfortunate. It's a great action figure, but the circumstance, what I'm saying, is unfortunate. Not only, well, he wasn't a friend if he fought with me and beat me up over it. So I just want to further go on a little bit about bullying and cyberbullying. We face it as adults at work. Our peers, you know, we get bullied. So there's ways that we could address that, like I aforementioned, with our supervisor or with human resources. And there's 1-800 numbers that we could call to report this, those problems at work, and it's an anonymous call. So we have to be a little more courageous as adults and do that to help make things a little bit easier on us at work. It's not fun going into work when you know that there's going to be somebody there that's just giving you a tough time every day. And for kids, I mean, bullying is, it's everywhere now, and I am so sorry for you guys. You're on social media, you're getting so bullied on social media, cyberbullying. You get it at school. It's tough. It really is. You know, being a victim of it myself, I know the scars that it carries. And kids are committing suicide over cyberbullying. They're being humiliated and picked on because of something they post online, and remember, everybody, and I'm saying this for myself too, once you put it online, it's on there forever. Okay, it's like a bullet. Once you shoot it, you never get it back. You can never call it back into the gun. So we got to be careful with that. So on the bottom of the screen, I have a suicide hotline number. If it's getting to that point, kids, or anybody, call that number. Those people on the other side are trained counselors. They will listen to you. There is no shame in admitting that you are to that point. You are a strong person when you admit that you need help. They will talk to you. They will provide services for you, counseling services. Even if you need to go to a hospital to check yourself in and be safe. I promise you that the people in the hospital will not look at you differently. I've been in that situation. I've battled depression, and I've admitted myself to a hospital. It was a little scary the first time, but I was met with open arms and kind and compassionate people. So I know for a fact that these people will help you and save your life. Suicide is never, ever, ever the answer. And I'm not going to get into detail about this. It's confidential, but I've had a few patients who survived suicide. And they told me that when they did it, they immediately regretted that decision. And they were glad that they survived. And that just solidified everything for me, that it is not worth it. It never is, because the next day is going to be better. And in my case, if I would have committed suicide when I thought I needed to, I wouldn't have seen my daughter grow up. I wouldn't have seen her graduate. I wouldn't have met all of you guys. I wouldn't have had this YouTube channel. There are just so many beautiful things that come about the next day. So please, just talk to somebody. Talk to a family member. Talk to a friend. Call that 800 number. Talk to your counselor at school. Talk to human resources. Get those feelings out. Please. There are just too many people doing it. And the numbers are growing greater every day. So, please. I can't ask you enough to do that. Even shoot me an email if you need to talk. Okay, I've been there, I understand. My email will be at the bottom of the screen too. Ending on a more positive note. You guys have been great. I really, really do appreciate your comments, your suggestions. I listen to them. And like I said, this channel is as much as yours as it is mine. So if you have an idea or a review that you want to see, let me know and I'll put it in. I don't know what I'm reviewing from week to week until the day before. Sometimes a week ahead, but it's fluid. I could change it if I need to, if there's a special request. So this channel's growing because of you guys, and I want to thank you all for subscribing, because that shows me that my content is worthy enough for you to watch and to be a regular viewer, and that's very humbling and it's heartwarming. Give this a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down. It's all constructive criticism. Also follow me on Twitter at JoeMotionVideos82. Everything that will be down in the description as well. You know, Also, if you want to become a channel supporter, help me out on coffee. I have a coffee account set up. Leave me a tip. You know, one time or multiple tips, doesn't matter, any dollar amount. It goes right back into the channel, and you'll become a channel supporter, which makes you eligible for exclusive giveaways. I'm not saying they're better prizes, but it's exclusive for those who are financially helping, and it's just another way of thanking. But everybody who subscribes to this channel is eligible for a giveaway. So with all that being said, this is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. Don't forget to be kind to everyone, and especially be kind to animals. We'll talk to you later. You have a great day. Bye-bye.